Alright, this is my spoiler discussion about the ending of Samurai Champloo. If you have not seen the last 3 episodes of Samurai Champloo, then click off this video right now and go watch my review of the show if you're interested, and maybe a couple other videos, If you haven't seen the show, or if you have seen the show, or you just want me to talk about the ending, then feel welcome to stay. So for all of you that haven't seen it, this is your last chance. I'm going to start talking about it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The ending was so fitting. I don't think there's an ending out there for any anime that was as fitting as the end for Samurai Champloo. It turns out that the Shogunate have been after the trio this entire time. The Shogunate is to the Japanese government. The government has been after them this entire time because Mugen killed a member of the Shogunate way back when. Don't know how, don't know when, but he killed an old man that was a member of the Shogunate, and the Shogunate have been after them ever since.
What's up with her? She's sentimental. She's what kind of mental? It's a female emotion found in Western European women. I suspect her emotions are getting the best of her right now.
Did you hear me? Mugen, you're first.
Me? Sorry, sister, I don't really got any secrets. But if you must know, I've been up to no good my entire life.
Tell us something we don't know.
Well, I'd kind of like to shag a chick with great big hooters.
Know that too.
I got one. I got into this nasty-ass fight when I was on the road once. I ended up having to totally waste some weird old geezer.
Weird? How is he weird?
He turned to me and said,
"Can you not see this box with the Shogun's crest?"
So I said, no, I can't, and I killed the crazy old dude cold.
Really? Wasn't that dangerous?
I wouldn't call it dangerous, but you're lucky that you left there with your life.
Okay, Jean, you're next. Go.
Well,
Tell us what you were up to before you met us.
I had been traveling for quite some time. My parents both passed away when I was still young. The Mujushin Kenjutsu dojo was left to care for me. I had nothing. I did nothing but train in Kenjutsu day in and day out from that point on. I got used to being alone, and soon none of the other children were any match for me. Instead, they were jealous and afraid, and they did their best to reject me.
Your eyes see too much. Your strength is unbridled and relentless. That means your strength is a power that exists for no one other than you.
Eventually, I was forced to bear the shame of killing my master, and was driven from the dojo. I've spent every single day since then on the road, traveling in search of something, but having no real idea of what that something is, or where to find it.
Fu's father was a freedom fighter for the Christianity. Back then, in the Edo period, you weren't able to think for yourself or to have different thoughts from what was okay to think about. So you couldn't have a religion back then. If you wanted to express your artistic side, you couldn't do that either. Things weren't really cool until probably about the late 40s, early 50s in Japan, where you could express your artistic side or express yourself freely until like the late 40s, early 50s. And Jean is also being hunted down by the Shogunate because he killed his master, and his master was originally going to join the Shogunate, but then Jean thought that that's not right, we're not going to do this, because he thinks that, okay, well, we're just giving in to authority and to power and all that, and that, they're going to be training people the methods for killing, not for self-protection, self-defense, discipline, none of that. Basically, you're going to be teaching people how to kill people for no honor. Pretty much it. And that the Hand of God, the Shogunate's highest ranking assassin, has ordered Jean's master to kill Jean, but then Jean killed him, and he kind of just became a drifter. Somebody that, just disappeared off the face of the planet. So all three of them are being hunted down by the Shogunate. I think this is really interesting. I think the fact that they're all being hunted down by the Shogunate and that all of them cross paths with the government at some point, inadvertently or, on purpose, is a really great way to end the story. And it definitely still fits with the whole hip-hop theme, because the government is probably the hip-hop culture's biggest enemy. Everybody talking about the Illuminati and all that, and the Shogunate is probably this show's version of the Illuminati, because they're sending assassins, mysterious assassins and assailants to go after our main characters, our protagonists. So they get pretty close to finding the samurai that smells of sunflowers, and his name's Kasumi. Kasumi is the name of the mysterious sunflower samurai. Hand of God to come out of retirement to take on Mugen, Jean, and Fu, or mainly just Mugen and Jean, because he didn't even try to kill Fu despite him crossing paths with her before she got on the boat to leave to the island that she needs to get to. And he finds interest in them because they managed to kill Sarah. Sarah is what touches in his interest to come out of retirement and kill them and go after them. Fu doesn't exactly like goodbyes, so she goes off to the island by herself. But then some people that Mugen pissed off in the past in a raid with Makuro, he bumps into those guys again because they want revenge, because he ended up screwing those three guys out of becoming employees for the Shogunate. So they wanted to work with the Shogunate and they want revenge on Mugen, so they try to get back on him. All on which while Fu's trying to get to her dad on an island, and all while Mugen and Jean are battling with the Hand of God. It's like, there's just so much stuff going on. And Jean takes on the Hand of God, and I thought he was dead at first. Mugen goes on a boat, he takes down that deformed looking, golem looking guy, and then, they go to the island, and Fu's kidnapped, and he's all like, yeah, let it go. And then they have a fight, Fu runs off, and we finally get to meet the Sunflower Samurai at the beginning of the last episode. And it turns out he was actually the opposite of what I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be like, there's going to be a final battle between Mugen and Jean, and it's going to be all like, it's going to cap off the revenge tale that they set up with Fu, with her wanting to slug him one and all that. But the funny thing is, I thought the Hand of God was originally Kasumi, the samurai that smells of sunflowers. He's exactly how I imagined Kasumi to be, and it turns out this guy is a top assassin for the Shogunate, and Kasumi's actually bedridden, on his way to death. He's sick. He's gone. He's pretty much gone. It's like, if you kill him right now, it's not going to really make a difference.
Forgive me for not standing to greet you. Please tell me your name. I'm afraid my eyes can't see very much these days.
Ever since I was a very young girl, my mother and I lived by ourselves. As long as I can remember, I've been told that my father had died a long time ago. But now I know that wasn't true. He was alive the whole time, and he had abandoned Mother and me. My mother finally told me the truth as she lay dying. Even now, when people ask me about my father, I say I don't have one. I tell them I don't even consider myself his daughter. If I met him now, I wouldn't accept any excuses. I won't forgive him as long as I live. And why should I? He knows nothing of what my mother and I went through. How we both suffered while Mother was sick. Or the way she died. That's why I swore when I met him I would make sure he understood. I swore I'd finally belt him one no matter what. had it all planned, but this isn't fair. I can't do anything to you now. Not if you're like this.
Fu.
I don't think we'll see each other again. Goodbye.
And you also find out that Kasumi didn't want to leave Fu and her mother, but they had to because the Shogunate were after him. So, it gets all emotional, and that, Fu forgives him, and that Fu feels remorse for what her goal was originally. All while Mugen, Jean, and Hand of God all deal with their stuff. Hand of God's on the trail. He's about to kill Kasumi. He does kill Kasumi, and then he's after Fu next because his orders were to take down Kasumi and his remnants of his family. And Mugen, he's struggling with his own thing. He's having to use strategy for the first time in a fight instead of going strictly on instinct, which is what he's been doing this entire show's run. And Jean, who presumably was dead, uses a technique that was forbidden by his master unless it was under extreme circumstances, which is to leave himself open and then strike at the last critical second. And that's how he takes down the Hand of God. And Mugen, he's been battered and all that for the last 2 episodes. Despite that, he takes down the 3 assailants that wanted revenge on him, and they, Jean and Mugen try to settle their score. Like, alright, let's get this over with. And then the swords break. And it showed that neither of them really wanted to fight each other anymore, and that they have respect for each other, at least enough respect to not want to kill each other, and the whole feud was off.
A promise is a promise, and you and I have some unfinished business to take care of. You're right for once. We really suck. You got that right.
All 3 of them managed to live after Mugen and Jean recuperate for about a week. And then at the very end, they go their separate ways. And it doesn't go with the whole, it's like, well, we should be together and, be a group for like the rest of our lives. No, they separate. They have their own things to do. Fu finally gets the final touch on her character development. She no longer wanted revenge. At the end of the last episode, she also finally felt confident enough to travel on her own, whereas in the beginning of the show, she always felt like she had to have bodyguards. But now she's finally gotten to a point where she can travel on her own. Mugen and Jean have women waiting for them. Jean has the lady that was pretty much Shino, the lady that was pretty much forced to be a prostitute to pay off her husband's debt, and the other undercover agent that fell in love with Mugen while she was trying to figure out a brothel conspiracy. So they have all their lives to live, and honestly, I think it's fitting. There's not a better way that they could have ended off the series, and of course, they didn't want to pull what they did with their brother show, Cowboy Bebop, where it was a depressing ending. So I think that it was only fitting that they all got redemption, they all got their goals done, and that they're all well-developed characters and better off for it at the end of the show. So I couldn't really ask for a better ending. But that's really all I have to say. So that caps off all the Samurai Champloo videos that I am posting, all 3 of them. I'll be posting one new Samurai Champloo video a year from now on, starting next year with a Samurai Champloo film editorial, all the way till 2020. So stick around for that. I'm Lino Mares of the MMCA Productions crew, and I'll see you next time.
The thing is, it actually came up heads.
Say what?
You're kidding.
That's all.
The whole thing was a trick.
Why did we even make this trip? You remember?
Later, guys. See you around.